Welcome to Aqualuna 73, a realm where intuition moves like water and the moon remembers every journey. Here the eyes of the soul open gently, catching whispers from the deep wells of time, shaped by ancient forces, from the quiet power of Ra to the bold spark of Rik, guiding us through the unseen. In this space, the cup's tarot flows with quiet wisdom, while quantum sparks rise from the black well of possibility. The zodiac hums softly, minnow small yet universe-wide, reminding us that even the smallest ripple in the pond can change everything. Some messages drift in like secret tides, echoing the mystery that readers have long explored, even in the hidden corners of Secret Tarot. This channel is a sanctuary for seekers, queens, wanderers, and those drawn to tarot readings that feel like conversations with destiny. Some messages arrive like secret tides, others like ancient hymns, all meant to guide you through each season of becoming. Here at Aqualuna 73, your spirit speaks and the cards answer. Please step through. Hi there everyone, welcome to my channel, Aqualuna 73. We're going to do zodiac based sign readings based off the energies in the Vedic astrology, okay? So I am still going to do the moon readings, but I was pulled to do zodiac based sign readings, so this is what I'm going to do. So we're going to see what lessons. I was shuffling the cards and these two cards fell out. Just hold on, I'm just eating a orange, a slice. Anyway, oh my gosh, has it ever happened to you when you eat a citrus fruit and these almost like in school? When I was in school, okay, primary school, even in high school, they used to take the like the skin of the orange, and if you wanted to like I don't know how do you call, what do you call it in English? Bakputsa. Okay, it's basically pranks. Yes, pranks. Okay, pull pranks on your friends, and they would squeeze the orange, the stuff that's in the skin. Okay, in your eyes, and it would sting your eyes. But anyway, this is what we used to do as kids. Anyway, and what is the other thing? This is what happened now. I just ate the slice of orange, and those, what do you call it? It's almost like a mist, okay, that the citrus skin or fruit has, and it goes up in your nose. And now I want to sneeze. But anyway, let's continue. I don't want to digress. These two cards fell out for your Page of Swords, Two of Wands. And I thought to myself, okay, I'm just going to keep it. This is was while I was shuffling the cards. Okay, this is the oracle, tarot of trees. If there's any background noise, I apologize. Okay, my son is in the kitchen. Luna is going to make a noise as well. So, Ace of Pentacles and King of Swords. Sagittarius, you're also known as the Archer. Okay. You're known as the Archer in the tarot. I mean in astrology known as the Archer. And today there's almost like there's been this theme of this folklore theme, like this is why I chose this deck. This folklore theme that's been, that energy, okay, that I've been in, or feeling for that matter. You are, you see that animal. I think that animal also represents Sagittarius. It's like half human, and the bottom part is like, what do you call them, a centurion, or what do you, centaur, not centurion, centaur, I don't know, what do you call those mythical creatures? But anyway, it's almost like you're a guardian, okay, or a keeper. You're a keeper of two gates, Sagittarius, in an ancient forest, okay. I also associate you, Sagittarius, with a banyan tree. A banyan tree is known for a tree that's very sturdy. It's also a tree that's so sturdy that when there are storms, people seek shelter. Okay, they seek shelter in a banyan tree, or in the vicinity of a banyan tree, or how can I put it, in the surrounding energy. I mean, it's almost like they feel safe, basically. Okay, let's see. Okay, your first card is the Well Watcher. I'm just going to draw two cards. Okay, the one is the Well Watcher, Wisdom, Power of the Divine, and the Camel Boy, Small Steps Asking for Help. Like I said, okay, people, the small boy is representing a vulnerable energy. Energies of individuals that seek your wisdom, seek your, there's some type of energy, Sagittarius, that you emit, and it's a protective energy, okay. Okay, so this is what I pick up for you energetically, Sagittarius, the archer or the keeper of two gates. There's an ancient forest, okay, and I see like stars. It's nighttime, I see stars, and the stars are hanging like lanterns in the sky. And I spoke about the banyan trees. I see banyan trees, and you, as the archer, you love the, okay, your arrows are not made of wood, Sagittarius. Your arrows are made of questions. Okay, this is what I pick up with this page. You're curious, okay, and yeah, it's almost in this card here with this page of swords. It comes across as a fierce energy. It's a page, but okay, this is what I pick up now. I don't know why I'm picking this up, so I don't know who this reading is for. Okay, I'm just going to tell you the way it is, okay, the way I pick it up now, because this is how Spirit wants me to relay this now. During apartheid, okay, as a youth during apartheid, I grew up during apartheid, and I know some people get annoyed with the fact that I always talk about this, but I come from a generation that actually experienced this, okay, and we also experienced the new government and the transition and all those things. But anyway, during apartheid as a youth, there were a lot of boycotts. There were usually days that we couldn't go to school. Okay, there was, and the youth played a major, maybe cardinal role in the freedom of South Africa. If you look at South African history, even Sharpeville, okay, Sharpeville is a public holiday, but it's based off a child that was killed during a protest, okay, by school kids. And there was this iconic photograph of Hector Peterson being carried, okay, by another schoolboy. And this came symbolic to the apartheid and what it did to people. So basically, what I'm getting here is during apartheid, I speak from experience, okay. Back then, when you're young, this is what I pick up with this page of, and this is your energy as well. When you are young, okay, you have this vitality about you. Okay, there's this energy, this vitality, and this is also, I posted a picture, I made a post on my community section about Nolan Welsh, and I also posted a picture alongside him with about Ashley Creel. Okay, he was a youth leader during apartheid for Busco, he was also a recruit for Umkhonto we Sizwe, and he basically went to Angola, and they recruited him and taught him to be a soldier, okay, and they basically saw him as the Che Guevara of the Western Cape, or the Che Guevara of the Cape Flats, okay. So basically what I'm picking up here is, and I'm getting to my point, okay, as a youth, what I remember about us, I wouldn't say we had a death wish. Okay, maybe so. When you're young, you're so, there's this almost this vitality that you have, okay, especially when you get involved in revolutionary things and you see some type of oppression. And this is what I remember a lot about myself, and also not other young people, is the adrenaline pumping and fighting for freedom and being a revolutionary and marching and not being scared. Okay, this is something that was so pivotal, pivotal, not pivotal, pivotal, sorry, okay, sorry, pivotal about being young is that fearlessness. And this is what I pick up with this card, is a fearlessness, okay, but it's also accompanied with this fearlessness is accompanied with impulsivity. But this is what goes along with being young, especially when you're young and you're being recruited into a specific dynamic. And a lot of people are reasoning that there was a deliberate, basically older people that recruited younger people to fight alongside them for freedom. But at the end of the day, you have to remember this. If it didn't happen this way, we wouldn't have been where we are today, okay? Whatever those laws were and things, it affected even the kids in school. We were segregated from a separate education, okay? They created separate schools for black kids, separate school for mixed race kids, okay? And basically they were so busy creating segregation and division, they were basically shooting themselves in the foot economically, just because they couldn't see eye to eye with or accept other individuals, okay? Or love, for that matter, other individuals just because they were different. But anyway, I think you get my point. This is what I pick up with this archer energy. You're questioning things here, okay? I don't know if you're questioning life, You're in this existential energy where you're young. Okay, you've dealt with many storms here, but you're also this fiery energy. It's a very fiery energy, almost like anger. Okay, this is what I pick up with this. You have anger. I would say rage be the correct word. I'm just drinking water, guys. Sorry, I'm eating orange. Anyway, excuse me. And there's this group of elders, okay, and this group of elders see you as the archer, as the seeker of horizons, um, Sagittarius. Wherever other people saw endings, you just saw another mountain to be conquered, okay? This Two of Wands comes across today as, I feel it's, I don't know why, but there was the past few days this energy of Merlin, okay? If you into folklore, if you into ancient folk tales, or stuff like Robin Hood, or um, Knights of the Round Table and stuff like that, and King Arthur, this is what came through. I had a download of Merlin, okay, earlier in the week. Just this image of Merlin popping up into my head. And this is what I pick up with the Two of Wands, is a Merlin energy. But this individual didn't only have one wand, they had two. Okay. It's almost like I said just a few seconds ago. Wherever other people saw endings, okay, or they saw difficulty, you as the archer only saw another mountain waiting to be climbed, okay? And we are in Leo season currently, and it's almost like with this, you see this King of Swords energy, Ace of Pentacles. This card here, look at this card, just look closely at this card. You will see there's a very, it's like a very red sky. There's, the tree is barren, the leaves are brown and dry. Okay, the power, this energy is very powerful in the cards. This Two of Wands comes across as a Merlin energy, like I said. And then you see the Ace of Pentacles. There's also this dry barren trees, but there's a pentacle in there. Okay, so there's some worth in whatever this experience is. And then there's this King of Swords energy, but there's also a very fiery energy about this experience, I would say. Okay, and you're walking through this fiery energy. It's like a kingdom of fire. I don't know if you feel you're being, maybe you're being tempered, or maybe you're being forged, okay, like a sword, like a blacksmith's forging a sword, okay, or piece of metal. You're walking through this kingdom of fire as the archer, and you basically approach this gate, okay, and this gate that you're approaching, Sagittarius, I just told you, I'm sorry, I'm eating a slice of orange again, and it's still in my mouth, so this is why I'm sounding strange. Okay, so this gate that you're approaching, okay, this reading is for August, going on into September. the energies for August, September in Vedic astrology. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, this first gate that you're approaching is August. And this first gate had a guard. It was guarded. Okay, like any gate that you would approach with a kingdom, there's a guard at this gate. And this guard at this gate is a blacksmith. Okay, I just told you, picked up a blacksmith energy. This blacksmith had silver eyes. And this blacksmith is asking you, as the archer, if you are seeking treasure. But you replied, no, I'm not seeking treasure, I'm seeking truth. But what you also have to understand, Sagittarius, is that treasure and truth is really, if ever, in different chests. It's almost like, if you look at someone, on what I mean, if you look at it from a philosophical perspective, you say to this blacksmith, I'm looking for truth. But this truth is also treasure, okay? So it's not kept in different chests or different treasure chests for that matter. And this blacksmith hands you a sword. The sword looks ordinary. This blacksmith could be a king of swords. You could be this king of swords. This blacksmith is handing you this sword. The sword looks ordinary, okay? If you look at it, it looks ordinary until you take it outside and the moonlight shines on the sword. Okay. And when you hold it up to the moonlight, you see flaws, okay? But every flaw, basically, is actually a hidden strength. And this is what's coming up again. It makes me think of, it's a long time ago. I'm just stretching my legs, guys. Long time ago in another reading, I was speaking about a book that I read. Oh God, what was the book? They made a movie of this book. Zendaya is in the movie, and Oprah is one of the guardians or the guards. It's basically a girl that goes to another world. Oh, what? A Wrinkle in Time. There's the book. A Wrinkle in Time. Okay. In A Wrinkle in Time, basically, when Oprah, as the specific character, speaks to Zendaya, she says to her, no, it's not Oprah, it's another guardian, also female, but she tells her basically every flaw, okay, is a strength. Don't see your flaws as flaws. It's not flaws. Say, for instance, I'm making a simple example. A lot of people might tell you, you're so stubborn. You're such a stubborn individual. But stubbornness might be seen as a flaw to other individuals. But stubbornness is also associated with perseverance. It's associated with somebody not giving up easily. Okay, not giving in easily to things. About somebody having set boundaries and a set of principles that they. Do you understand where I'm going with this? And this is maybe what they are trying to emphasize to you. Okay, this blacksmith, the eldest that I was speaking about. And basically this blacksmith blacksmith is telling you this. Whatever experiences that you're having, okay, your life is exactly as I said here. And this is what the blacksmith is telling you. This treasure, truth and treasure is in the same place. And so it is with your life as well. And whatever feels unfinished in your life is being tempered, okay? And you basically, after you cross the boundaries of this kingdom, you walk further. Oh my gosh, I've constantly bumped into the tripod. You walk further across valleys, okay? And while you're walking, there are these echoes, okay? Echoes of, almost like echoes bouncing off stone walls, of empty promises and forgotten promises, okay? And also almost like there could be on the specific, after you've been in the specific energy of, and you walk on, there could be friends that are returning, okay, possibly. But these friends, okay, these friends are carrying lessons, they're not carrying answers, okay? And on this path that you're on, there are these old fears as well. And these old fears is basically disguised as familiar things or familiar roads, okay? I'm trying to think of an example. You walk on this road, and while you're walking on this road, you see these turnoffs, and there is maybe a little town on a turnoff, okay? And it looks similar to maybe somewhere that you grew up, or somewhere, or a city, a place that you once knew, okay? And you're basically tempted to go in that direction. But basically it's almost like it could be, say for instance, a mirage. It could be a mirage, an illusion, okay? It comes across and it's disguised, okay, as something familiar. It could be a relationship, it could be, but it comes in the form of an experience or an individual, okay? So basically, while you're on this road, every choice becomes a mirror, okay? Okay, every choice that you make from here on or onwards, after you've stepped beyond the gates, okay, it's every choice is going to become a mirror. And the universe is basically asking you, will you walk from habit, or are you going to walk with purpose? And this is what the King of Swords, in my opinion, also represents: someone walking with purpose. It's someone that knows where they're going. They know what they want. A person that would be willing to put their money where their mouth is, okay? And this is what the universe also, the energy that the universe wants you to be in. Will you walk with from habit, out of familiarity, because you are familiar with something, or are you going to walk with purpose and trust and have faith? Okay. And you also have to understand on this journey, not every path is going to be welcoming, not every door is going to be welcoming, not every path is going to be opened. There are going to be closed doors. But you have to see, it's almost like rejection is protection, okay? Those closed doors protected the archer from wandering into specific forests or little situations where they basically were just being distracted. It's distraction, okay? At the end of the month, um, by the end of the month of August, you are going to discover, Sagittarius, that being courageous, the King of Swords is a courageous energy as well. Being courageous, okay, being courageous is not necessarily being impulsive. Please remember this. You are fire sign. Being courageous does not mean being impulsive. It doesn't mean you just charge into battle. And I don't know why this is coming across again. I'm picking up Ashley Creel again. He passed on, okay. He was, like I said, he was a freedom fighter, a guerrilla from Kontowi Sizwe. And he was well known for being a very fiery energy and militant. And this is, he was very impatient as well. But this is not what got him killed. Okay. He didn't get killed because of this. He got killed because he was framed. Okay. People obviously knew he was living in a safe house in Cape Town. He came back from Angola and he was killed. Okay. In the safe house. They found out where he was living. So he was living in exile as well. And then he came back. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is he was well known also for his fiery energy. He was at loggerheads with Chris Hani and Joe Slovo because of he was a lot younger than them. He was 20 years old when he died. Okay. And they were much older than him. And his youth made him impulsive. His youth made him a very fiery, don't give a if attitude, and wasn't scared to die. And listen, I'm speaking of experience here. Back then we were all like that, most of us, when we were in our youth during apartheid as black and mixed race people. Okay, we were all at some stage busy with some type of experience where we had to stand up for ourselves because it was apartheid. I have a lot of experiences where I had to stand my ground. Okay, but anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this is a fearless energy, and this is an energy that you also have to be in. This is what the universe wants. Okay, because the world, okay, if you look at the world and the framework of the setup of the system that we live in, it's built on fear. Everything, as long as people can put fear into you in some or other way, whether it's with religion, fear that God is going to punish you, fear that you're going to hell, fear that there's always something, okay? And as long as you can put fear into people, you're going to withhold them from pursuing things, okay? Or seeing their own worth or whatever. So I have no idea what this is for you. I'm going to draw another few cards. Okay, you got the Moon. You got the Three of Swords. You got the Ace of Swords. Oh, wow. Okay, interesting. I'm going to draw another. Okay, wait, let me draw another card here. And then regeneration. Okay, that's nice. Oh, okay. The energy kind of felt heavy with these three cards. And then this one comes out. Okay, this is why I got a sigh of relief, like exhaling. Okay. This is something, this, whatever this is, it's like, a passage. Okay. It's some type of, not safe passage, more like, I don't want to say it's a test. It's not a test. Everybody has to go through certain specific things, like I said earlier about being tempered. This is the exact energy that I pick up with this, with these three cards. An energy here with this moon card, Three of Swords, Ace of Swords, someone being tempered, and after they being tempered, they resurrection. Okay. This is the card, first card, Shadow Queen, the Metal King. Okay. Okay, interesting. Acquiring knowledge, insecurity and manipulation, discipline, armor and boundaries. You've been guided by someone. I don't know if you're a divine female, and this, it comes across as a divine male, divine female, but the divine female is, okay, I want more cards about this. What am I going, let me just hold on a second, guys. I want to see if I can find another oracle deck here, because I want to clarify this. It's almost like you're being guided. This Metal King could be a spiritual energy, a divine spiritual energy, a guide, okay, that's guiding you if you are divine female. I'm not saying it's a divine male, I'm saying it's a spiritual divine energy. But the spiritual divine energy is very grounded and disciplined. And also they know the boundaries, okay, they know which boundaries to overstep and which boundaries not to overstep. So they basically know their place in this world. Okay. You, as the Shadow Queen, I, I strongly feel that you are, and please don't be alarmed because you see Shadow Queen. Okay, a lot of people will just associate it with a negative energy because I'm speaking about shadow. But this Metal King could be even, say for instance, if you are a spiritual religious person, you the Shadow Queen, this is Jesus, God, guiding you, a voice in your head, spiritually guiding you through a very difficult experience. Okay. And while you're in this experience, you're also acquiring a lot of knowledge. Okay. And whatever this energy is, it wanted you to feel insecure. Okay, this energy was also very manipulative. Okay, and you're moving away from this energy. And this Metal King energy is helping you to move away from this energy. Okay. And basically, you're discovering as well, Sagittarius Archer, that courage, like I said, is not charging. It's having patience. It's carrying peace in yourself and withdrawing yourself from situations that are chaotic. Okay, if you see situations where people have a lot of drama, you just step out of it. Give me a clarifier card, please, for this Shadow Queen and Meteor King energy. Okay, so this August, like I said, this is the energy that you're going to deal with, and you're going to walk forward, and while you approach another gate in September, and this gate is the gate of the Sky Weaver. Okay, so just hold on a second, we're going to just clarify before we get to that. Okay, bouquet, pleasantness, gift, charming, joy, happiness, and flattery. Okay, I have no idea what to make of this. This energy that you're dealing with is represented by this. I don't know if it's someone bringing you flowers or somebody helping you to see something clearly. I have no idea. What's standing out here is this last word, flattery. So for some of you, you need to be just aware that flattery is a way a lot of men get their way with women. They may not say what they mean, but it gets them what they want from you, although they may not mean it. Okay, so I have no idea what this entails for you, so just be aware of this. In September, like I said, you're going to approach the gate of the Sky Weaver, Sagittarius. And while you're standing on this road, you see beyond the mountains, there was a woman standing. And she was almost like weaving something. Okay. She was weaving something. Okay, these cards. Four of Wands, Strength card, and the Tower. Okay. Four of Wands, Strength card, and the Tower. This woman that you're seeing, it's like she was weaving. Wow, she's someone like she's sitting there. You know somebody that woven carpets where they have this huge contraption and the woman just weaves these blankets or carpets, but it's like threads of starlight. Okay, and she basically is greeting you and giving you a cloak. Okay, and this this cloak is embroidered, okay, with it looks like constellations, and this is exactly the download that I got when I was meditating on your sign. I said I saw Merlin, but he was wearing this cloak. Okay, but this cloak there were planets on it and constellations, and this is the type of cloak that this woman is giving you. And she's smiling at you and she's telling you your journey has changed, Archer. You are no longer chasing horizons, okay? You have become one. And this weaver, okay, I almost want to say she's like a guardian of, like I said, I got the download of, what is that? Wrinkle in Time, okay. She's like one of these guardians in A Wrinkle in Time, these female guardians. And this weaver, This guardian weaver is sending these winds, okay, and in these winds there were voices and it carried invitations, okay, and these invitations are opportunities, okay. This is what I pick up with this Four of Wands and this Tower. A tower indicates endings, but like I said on several occasions, the Tower might be an ending, okay, but an ending is always a new beginning. I told you, you're on a new journey, okay. This opportunity sometimes arrive with endings, okay, and some of these opportunities this wind, or the wind that this weaver is sending, okay, like I said, it arrived with opportunities, it arrived with endings, and some of it is disguised as silence, okay. And it's almost, the silence is like also an indication to you that every season that we experience in our life, not every season is meant for speed or action. Some seasons require us to wait and have patience, okay. Even nature is a simple example of this. Nature has seasons: winter, spring, okay, fall is autumn, summer, okay, 4 seasons. In winter, a lot of animals hibernate. They sleep, they rest, because the earth has to replenish and restore and start over. Even the seasons ask for alignment, okay. And even in nature, the birds know they need to migrate to a different area. And when the season changes, they can feel that and they return, okay. And they basically return with these seeds from distant kingdoms, okay. And these seeds are ideas, maybe your ideas, okay. It could be business ideas, it could be anything. Ideas that were planted months before, and now finally it's, you're basically going to have some type of breakthrough, okay. And when this happens, when you're in this energy where you accept that you also have to have your patient season, your calm season, where you cannot do a lot, basically have to wait. The rivers are going to flow more clearly, because your rivers basically are going to flow more clearly, because you, as the archer, you're going to understand that you cannot, it's not always wise to just command, okay, energies, or be in control of certain things, because certain things need a specific type of flow. You cannot command the river, okay. And the other thing that I also want to mention is that if you speak from your heart, if you speak from authenticity, okay, you will automatically attract the right type of individuals to you, people that will recognize your spirit, okay. And like I said, with this Metal King energy and this King of Swords, It's almost like the universe wants you to listen closely to these guides that you're having. Okay, and I place strong emphasis on this. Okay, this is not an individual, this is a guide. It comes across as a spiritual guide, and you need to listen carefully for the guidance that you're going to receive. These guidance going to come from ordinary conversations with people. Okay, but when you say, for instance, when you're in the presence of an individual and you speak to this individual, I'm trying to think of an example. This individual might talk to you, but you're not hearing this person's voice. You basically, maybe all of a sudden you hear your dad's voice in this person, and then you hear, okay, this is a message for me. I need to listen to this and take it seriously. Okay. Just hold on, guys. I'm just drinking some more water. And eating orange. Anyway. These almost like with this page of, with this tower here, I see rain. And this, I said here, I got an autumn energy, almost like a season of rest, basically. Or stepping into a season of rest. Almost like somebody approaching the end of a specific journey. It could be a life journey. Okay. And it's almost like while you're stepping into this autumn, it's becoming night and you witness these stars. And you look back and you see these two gates that you passed. Okay, the gate of the blacksmith. And this blacksmith basically forged resilience in you. And this weaver, the other one, she basically, oh my gosh, my ears are ringing. This weaver, she basically stitched, while she was weaving, she stitched some type of vision into your consciousness. Neither of these two guides changed your destiny. Okay, they didn't change your destiny or your route. They just changed your inner compass, your guidance, the way you see yourself, the way you think, feel. You understand? Anyway, let's draw a few cards more. Oh, this is a very long reading. Okay. Let's see what final words the elders have for you. What final words does the elders have for my Sagittarius collective, for this general reading for Sagittarius for August and September, with the Vedic astrology energies and planetary alignments for August and September? Please and thank you. Okay, first card, the Empress. Oh, lovely. Six of Swords and the inverted tree. I'm going to draw a fourth card. This card, Six of Cups. So, these are the final words of the elders. Empress, this is the energy that you're going to step into. This is basically the energy that they molded you into. Okay, these guides. Six of Swords, the inverted tree, and your other card is the Six of Cups. So what I pick up here, what the elders are saying with this is, before you disappear into the next season of your life, the village elders want to tell you something, okay? And this is what they want to tell you. When your blueprint was written in the stars, Sagittarius, they didn't write your fate, okay? The stars didn't write your fate upon stone. It's not something that's written upon stone. There's a scattering of seeds upon the wind. And today, it's like these guides, they were basically guiding you towards yourself or returning you towards yourself, okay? Your character, Sagittarius, is the soil. Character is the soil. The rain is your choices, okay? And your action is the harvest. And today this rain is the inverted tree, and the Six of Cups is the action on your harvest. You see these cups? These cups are overflowing. You need to just walk with honesty, okay? Continue walking with honesty. Because even difficult skies, Sagittarius, whatever difficult skies we experience, these difficult skies also become wise teachers to us. So in August, like I said, with this tempering or this refinement through fire, September is going to open the winds of possibility for you, okay? And if you look at it from a mythical perspective, you're a mythical creature. People will tell the story of the archer who learned that the greatest journey was never toward a distant kingdom, okay, but toward becoming the kind of soul who could recognize one when it appeared. In other words, when you're on this new journey, you will start to recognize your soul family, the tribe that you're going to be in, or, yeah, basically this is it. Okay, this is lovely, beautiful, I love this. I'm going to just draw a last card here. Give me a last card for my Sagittarius collective to end off this reading, please and thank you. The letter or letter, document, message, news, speech, writing, communication. I think this is confirmation on your new journey. You're going to receive a letter. It could be a job offer. It could be something of substance that's going to guide you and help you on your new journey. Okay, I don't know exactly what it contains, but it's either a document with a message, a letter, some type of news, good news, okay? it could be anything, an opportunity, whatever. But there's definitely communication in September. Anyway, please take care. I love you guys. God bless you and thank you for watching. Bye.